Yeah, buddy. What a way to start off the latest and best episode of All Gas, No Trash. My name's Josh. Here today, obviously, with good buddy Adam.
Good buddy Adam. Keck.
Now, before we get into that, I'd just like to, just say, if you enjoy hearing us talk about stuff and things, we have other podcasts where we talk about other stuff and things that are not music related. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we do shoehorn music things into there, though. So, you just might want to check them out anyways. And you can go to find all those things wherever podcasts are sold. Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, fucking Spotify, all the typical ones. If it exists, we're on it. You can listen to other shows we have, such as Anime Syndicate, if you like anime, CUP, if you like, geopolitics and current events. Also, movies and TV. Who doesn't like movies and TV? That's the real question. If you're not listening to that, you might not even be human. You might be an NPC. We also have the Game Rage Wrestling podcast where we talk about professional wrestling. We just freshly recorded a new episode of the Team Killing Glitchtards, which is our podcast about video games. And we talked about fighting games, and we also talked about a streamer, which was pretty fun. And if you want to hear us talk about people that we've interviewed or that we do interview, you can check us out on the Without Censor podcast. Bangers, all bangers. That we should change from Without Censor to all bangers, no trash. That should be
all bangers, no trash.
All bangers, because those interviews are all bangers, and you should check them out because they're fucking pretty awesome. So, anyways, if you do want to follow us on the social medias at Game Rage Magazine, for Adam, it's All Gas, No Trash Official. If you want to hear the latest in cutting edge music technology, you tune in there and he will tell you everything you need to know about shit you've never even heard of. Some asshole with 9 followers in fucking Uganda who just came out with the newest fucking genre of music. Adam is on top of shit. Adam is in the trenches. He's doing the dirt. What was that?
I think it was the what do you call it? Those foam noodles.
Oh, the noodle that you were fucking playing with earlier,
yeah.
And it just shifted. Anyways, but Adam is in the weeds. He's in the dirt. He's in the literal trenches, climbing and crawling through the muck of horseshit that is music on the internet to find out the little diamonds in the rough so that you don't have to do it. He's doing the work. And quite frankly, he's doing God's work, to be honest with you. Because, listen, the less work I got to do to find new music, it's just curated right there for me. Oh, it's the greatest shit ever. So All Gas, No Trash Official on Instagram, and you can find all your music recommendations there, in addition to the ones you hear on the podcast. Now, with that being said, Adam, what are we going to talk about today?
What are we going to talk about?
So what do you want to talk about? All Gas, No Trash podcast?
Yeah, man. Trying to emulate Cody Rhodes, WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about? Game Rage Marks. Game Rage Marks.
What do we call them? Game Rage Meat Writers?
The Game Rage Meat Writers.
What a great name.
Shit, man. I don't even know. Should we do an addendum to Coachella?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do an addendum. What do you got?
So I've been tipped off by, let's just say, an anonymous source.
Could we say with what is it? With truth that this is an inside information, perhaps?
Yes.
Oh man, secret info. What do you got?
All right. Actually, let's make it 2 sources.
Oh, okay. All right.
I had other ones, but I'm just going to limit it to these 2 because I felt like these were the ones that I
trust the most, maybe?
Trust the most, and also that feel like they have weight to them or whatever. So somebody messaged me because I've been posting about Coachella and the downturn in attendance and also the dead crowds of the festival itself. And somebody messaged me when I posted these stories on my Instagram account, and they said, quote,
okay,
in secret news, weekend 1 didn't sell out either. They just announced it that way to boost sales for weekend 2, and it didn't work. I have friends that work for Golden Voice / Coachella, and they said this was the slowest weekend 1 they've seen in years.
Wow.
There were thousands and thousands of tickets available for each weekend. That's source 1.
Okay.
We get to source 2 now.
Numero dos. Source number 2 incoming.
So they said that's what they fucking get.
Yeah.
They raised the prices and skimmed their services. I heard from people who went that they only gave catering to the day you worked, implying that if you are part of the team for an artist, that you only get to have food on the day that it's not an all day thing. So now that's been scaled back. I went in 2019 and you got fed all weekend, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They overcharged for food and beverages and water. Fuck them. That was a gross money move. I did feel like they were targeting the 40s folks, though. Would have died to see the Deftones, the whole... Oh, wait. Let me... I will not read any further.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me skip out in that part. But the last thing that they said was, but whatever, you hold the balance or you fall on your fucking face when you cross that line, referring to the above mentioned changes that have been made to Coachella, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm not really, okay, I'm going to be honest. Like, I really don't care what the outcome is for Golden Voice if they had a good fucking quarter with this fucking festival. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm fascinated by is why people are not showing up for concerts, or why there's a less enthusiastic crowd for these events. Because I feel as though personally, Coachella is the crown jewel of the music industry as far as festivals go. It's the one everybody wants to play at. So the one everyone. So I actually came up with my own fucking theory this weekend, and it changed like 3 different times. But I was speculating that perhaps it was the audience that was being problematic, because we do live in an age where technology is in the palm of our hands.
Right.
People have developed a short attention span. So maybe people aren't really that interested in the music that was being presented, or maybe even it's long-term memory loss. Maybe people don't care about acts that were out 5 years ago or even 3 years. Who the fuck knows what it is?
Could be.
But I also think maybe the biggest contribution of why we're seeing maybe a downturn and maybe lethargy for the festival attendees is perhaps economic reasons. I posit that inflation has played a role to the point that if in fact Golden Voice raised their ticket prices for the Coachella event, and let's just say for the sake of argument, it's $1,000.
Okay.
If the price of the tickets is $1,000 to a person that makes 5 figures versus somebody that makes closer to, let's say, the mid to high 6 figures, $1,000.
That's a lot of fucking money.
It's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
You might think twice about spending that money because, well, you need some money for a rainy day or something along those lines. And maybe for somebody that's on the mid to high end of the 6 figures, potentially 7, $1,000 is a drop in the bucket.
True.
Mostly.
True.
So in the nature, by nature of raising the prices, you are pricing people out of the concert, or rather the festival itself, right?
Right.
But that also means that you could sell less tickets and make the same amount of money and potentially profit even more if the company is marking it up and there's still somebody willing to pay that amount of money.
Right.
So I believe it's possible that the people that are attending the Coachella event are possibly not in it for the love of the music, but merely to say that this is economic peacocking, to say, I'm at the event, look how cool I am. This is so stylish. This is so cool. I'm attending the cream of the crop of mainstream culture, which is Coachella, the music festival. And the comparison that I'm making, which may be apples and oranges, but maybe you could see the parallel, is something has happened in the Middle East where they are now trying to vouch for or bid for sporting events, entertainment events, which include the World Cup Qatar hosted in 2022. And I actually think they really didn't care for the sport itself because Qatar has like a horrible football/soccer team. And they weren't winning games. So it's like they didn't really care. I think they're more interested in the fact of how can we make money off these people? Because if people end up moving away from oil, if electric is the way to go, or if nuclear is the way to go, I mean, they're shit out of luck because they're fucking knee deep in oil.
True.
And they have to find out how they're going to diversify their economy and shit. So maybe tourism is the way to go for them. So one other thing that's been happening is that the Middle East, Saudi Arabia has been hosting the crown jewel from WWE.
Right.
And again, in the Qatar situation, or even in Saudi Arabia, the people that can afford to go are not the peasants or the working class or even the middle class. It's the wealthy families. It's the Saudi princes. And when you actually watch the event, you're surprised to see that there's not really much enthusiasm. It's not like a crowd in Europe that's losing their shit, or even here in the US where, we're the home of WWE. There isn't that enthusiasm. So I make that comparison to Coachella and its attendees, that perhaps the people that really love this festival, this thing that started out in, I think, 2006, the love isn't there because the people that loved it aren't there. The people that love the music aren't there. It's just people with tons of money that want to show off. And that's more or less the conclusion that I've come to, which is not, it's debatable, but I'm at least throwing something out there of possibly explaining why things are turning out this way. Because it's not just here in Southern California or even the US, it's across the board. It's in Australia that festivals have been straight out canceled.
Right.
And that's all I got.
I honestly think that is the most plausible or one of the most plausible explanations. I am also a little bit on the, what's the word I'm looking for? On the side of I think that this Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever the fuck these two generations are being called that are after us. I definitely think that their interest in attending in-person events has dwindled. And I think that COVID kind of really sealed the deal on that for them, because they really got to see, oh, hey, I can just watch stuff, or I can experience things without having to actually go there. And there are ways that that's still being done, right? So I think it's that the majority or the major issue is the people that are an art age group and maybe a little older that are actually still going or wanting to go to these events. I think that's purely economic, like you're saying. I think that's 100% correct. Because again, if the ticket's $1,000 for a weekend, I mean, shit, that if I'm having to choose between, let's see, being able to eat or put gas in my car to go to work, I'm definitely not going to Coachella. So I think that's the biggest issue for our generation is, well, Christ, I don't have the money to go do this shit. And let's be real, unless you live in that area where Coachella is happening, you're gonna have to rent a hotel. So you're not just looking at $1,000. You're looking at probably $1,500 to $2,000 by the end of the weekend or whatever. So that's a big investment to go see some music, and
it better be fucking good because for all the money you're paying. Yeah,
it better be off the chains. And I also don't think that I think they were trying to make it off the chains for our age bracket by bringing in No Doubt, Blur, shit from our era that we haven't seen in a while. And it obviously fell flat because we don't have the money. And even if we, goddamn, choking to death. We don't have the money. And even if we did, I posit that we're probably not going to spend it to go do that, to go see No Doubt. And man, I just want to say, and I'm not purposely trying to throw shade. Goddamn, hold on, I got to get a cough drop real quick because I'm fucking... You know when you get one of them dry spots in your fucking throat and you just can't handle it? It's just fucking constantly.
Yeah.
That's what I got right now. But anyways, I'm not trying to purposely throw shade at anyone in particular. But I would just like to say, what the fuck happened to Gwen Stefani? why does she look so fucking weird now? She almost doesn't look human.
She looks swollen.
Yeah. I don't know if it's plastic surgery or
yeah, it is.
What? But she looks fucking terrible. I know that, we shouldn't be judging people. But I'm sorry. You're in the public eye. We've seen you for the last 30 fucking years. You don't look the same. You look very different. And you also don't look like someone who's your age should look like. So it's very weird to me. I liked her old look better when she wasn't all fucking, like you said, puffy and with those big ass duck lips, man. I can't do it.
It's like Botox
it's
or
weird.
Something.
And I get that marketing wise, I guess she probably had to do that because she's become like a pop star, right? She's not a fucking down and dirty ska fucking reggae, whatever. No, it's not No Doubt anymore. That's been gone for a long time. So I get you've had to adapt and change your image based on that, but fuck, man, that sucks. Like it's just weird. I don't like it. And I feel like that's part of the reason why people from our generation aren't maybe necessarily latching onto this so much, because Gwen Stefani's she's not that punk girl anymore, right? She's a mainstream pop superstar, for lack of, I don't even know if that's the lack of a better term. I think that's just what she's become. And, I think it's indicative of people not necessarily turning up to go see No Doubt because they don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy that this is No Doubt. Yeah, sure, you can have the same lady who sang the songs, but you're not the same person who was doing this 30 years ago, obviously. And sure, most people aren't going to be that. Green Day is a fucking example of that, right? Like they have no fucking problems with money, and yet they're bitching about the economy and everything in their fucking songs, right? So, not to get you started on that.
Oh no, tangent, please don't.
But that's kind of what it is. It's like we're not buying it right now. We don't buy this shit anymore. At least when Blink 182 came out with these new songs and stuff, it was about them. It was about their personal journey. It wasn't them bitching about shit that. Yes, they're still doing the hits, right? But like the new single or whatever, I don't know. I think they put out a new album, but like the new single, at least off of it that I listened to, it was about like, hey, why did we have to wait until some guy got cancer or till this happened and this happened for us to come back together as friends? Like that's like a legit like I buy that because that's real. Whereas Botox Stefani coming up on stage and doing fucking don't speak is not. I don't buy it. I don't get it. It's not. I'm not into it. And I think that's where a lot of us are at. So I don't foresee a No Doubt future tour happening because of this.
I think they're any social capital that they had has dwindled immensely.
Long gone.
And I also think people have short-term memory because when it comes to Damon Albarn playing with the Blur and the crowd, mostly the music of the Blur falling on deaf ears, that was like one of the most incredible things that I've ever seen, because he's probably more known for the Gorillaz,
right? Maybe
for the entirety of his career, or since the start of the Gorillaz themselves. Because everybody knows the fucking Gorillaz, but they know the Blur, and do they know Damon Albarn is a part of that? Do they care about the music? It was quite evident that they did not.
Yeah, that was a true story.
And to Tuck, all right, well, I'm going to turn this into a rant.
Okay, let's do it. I enjoy it. Fist slammed on the table if you didn't hear it.
On the note of Gwen Stefani talking about shit, man. She was talking to Megan Holiday. I almost don't even want to talk about K-Rock because I do not want to give him an ounce or a second more than we need to, right, or even at all. But I'm going to do it because it kind of pisses me off. But Gwen Stefani talked about how K-Rock was the tastemaker and all this bullshit, and they know what's good when it comes to music, and they've been doing that for X amount of years. That is the biggest fucking load of piece of shit I've ever fucking heard. Because there's one example that I could think of because it's available on YouTube. It's Rick Rubin talking about working with System of a Down and talking to the program director of K-Rock named Kevin Weatherly, and saying that Sode or System of a Down was never going to be fucking played on their radio station. They said no when they had the opportunity to have something that's fresh and new. They said fucking no. So all that shit that Gwen Stefani said about K-Rock, like jerking off K-Rock, not true. And I showed an example on social media, or rather Instagram, to prove that this is horseshit. Like, this is utter horseshit. And then to further add to that, Chicano Batman is a band here locally in Southern California that's adored. And I would say maybe they're known nationally. They have a decent following and such, but they got interviewed by K-Rock. And this is 10 years after the fact that they've been a band. And they played the Helpful Honda soundstage. I'm like, dude, why the fuck are you going to K-Rock? Sure, maybe they asked you and they say maybe it's nice to have this band, but if I was an artist, I would only be fucking with people that were playing my shit from the beginning. That is the bottom line. And before even K-Rock interviewed Chicano Batman, KCRW had Chicano Batman, one of the members, Bardo Martinez, talk about one of the singles for their album back in I think like 2017.
Yeah,
the single's called Freedom is Free. And they were talking to them in 2017, 7 years before fucking K-Rock.
That's crazy.
And I just fucking hate K-Rock, dude. I genuinely hate K-Rock because, one, I ask, what do you do as a DJ for K-Rock if it's already curated? And what do you add as an individual to the radio station if you're just talking about the same fucking 5 bands, 10 bands for the last 30 years, dude? Fuck K-Rock.
Yeah, no, I agree. I yeah, sure, of course. I've listened to K-Rock, right? We live in fucking Southern California. Everyone who lives in Southern California has listened to K-Rock at some point. That's just how it is. And yes, they play the mainstream rock hits, right? That's what they do. And they want to, and this is the thing that's hard to see, is because they are in a dying medium, essentially, right? Terrestrial radio is not, it's definitely not doing gangbusters like it used to, for sure. And the level of influence that it's having is dwindling. And when they're dying, right? When they're in their death throes, which is kind of what's happening right now, they get desperate. So then what do? They start doing, oh shit, all the stuff we were able to fuck off on because we were so Hollywood and we were too cool for school, as they say. And we didn't need to talk to any of these we didn't need to help develop any new artists because we already got on lock all the big ones. And if they're not anybody now, if they become someone, guess what? They're going to come to us to be played on the radio. And then if they are somebody at that point, cool, we'll play them. That's kind of what their model has been, I think, over the last 25 years. And now it's starting to hurt them, because if they would have already had that system in place of finding and helping to develop new artists, they would have been ahead of the curve when this shit started going down. Because guess what? Yeah, you can go listen to so-and-so jerk off band, let's say, on, Spotify, but K-Rock still has listeners, more so probably than you would get exposed to if you just put out your shit on Spotify. So if K-Rock was smart, they would have been doing this when the internet started becoming a real problem. And really, they should have been doing it when satellite radio started coming around. That was when they really should have started saying, hey, we need to get ahead of the curve and we need to beat these guys because they can play shit that we can't. And we need to get shit that they might not necessarily have. And if we can be the ones known for doing that, cool. We could continue doing this shit because it's going to give people a reason to tune in, right? Because they know they're going to hear some good shit. That's why I think people tune into this fucking podcast, because they know they're going to get to see some good shit or get told about some good shit. And this is shit that they're not going to hear on K-Rock or any of the major terrestrial radio stations right now. Sure, I think you had one of those stories that said something about Brain Story or whatever getting played on there, but those guys have been around, right? So they're finally just getting their due now. And obviously you had posted back about them in like fucking 2017 or some shit like that, or
2019. Yeah.
Whatever. The numbers are numbers, but yeah, whatever. Way before they were even considering probably playing them or talking to them or talking about them. So
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more to add because, I mean, one other thing that I threw out on social media or Instagram was, dude, I was pretty much a fucking day one for Royal Otis.
Yeah.
And while we did review their debut album, and you can check that out, it's listed in the episode list and such. And our opinions are, well, they're their opinions.
They are definitely opinions. That is a factual statement, sir.
Look, what I will say about the band is that I could see the appeal, and I'm not stupid enough to know, or I'm not dumb enough to not acknowledge the fact that this is appealing to quite a bit of people, especially people in the 18 to 25 range. I think this would sit well. I knew that back when they only had 800 followers. When I heard the singles, I said, oh yeah, you know what? This is good, but I don't know if it's for me, but I know the value of it. And do you know who played them first? Fucking BBC. Triple J probably was the first one because they're in Australia. They're from Australia. So of course they're going to be the ones that break them first. And then it was BBC. And then K-Rock came out years afterwards. And I'm just thinking, dude, you guys are such fucking like trend writers. Like you're when you talk about the bell curve, you're like so far from, I don't know, man. It's just it just makes me laugh that they get called trendsetters, or they get to be called tastemakers, or whatever you want to call them. And that is not remotely fucking true, dude. And yeah, the program director of K-Rock, Kevin Weatherly, who apparently ran a great ship from the 90s to the early 2000s. And, you know, at a certain point, you kind of become detached from what is relevant, what is cool, what is hip, having your ear to the ground. Because one of the things that ended up happening in 2020 when K-Rock was reshuffling how the radio station was going to happen, or what was going to happen with the radio station as far as personnel goes, he ended up leaving. I think it was either he got fired or he left. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was
mutual parting. Yeah. He's allowed to resign, right? Basically.
So he went to Spotify and took over the head of North America programming for Spotify. And I'm like, man, I would love to fail upwards like that. For somebody that became stale and probably maybe caused the downturn of K-Rock towards the late 2000s, potentially the 2010s. Mm-hmm. I want to fail upwards like that, dude. How do I do that?
You got to know people,
I guess. So he basically got rewarded for it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, 2 years later, 2022, he comes back to K-Rock to be a supervisor for talent, branding, operations, and I forgot what other bullshit. So how does somebody that becomes out of tune of what is important in music, how does going backwards in time with somebody that would be considered a boomer, how does that help K-Rock?
No, it doesn't. And that's just, I guess that's an inherent problem, not only with that, but with most business as it sits nowadays is it's especially, and I would say it's in maybe entertainment in general. It's the old boys club still. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And it doesn't matter what you did at your last job. If you got somebody that you have a buddy that works here and he owes you a favor, well, guess what? You got a job. And that's not, and people can talk shit all they want and say, oh, that's bullshit. It absolutely is not. That is a fact. That happens everywhere. That's just human nature. That's just how we are. It's just how it is. And generally there's not a lot wrong with that. But when you get those people that are in the old boys club, or that it's a buddy of someone, and you put them in positions of authority and positions that can actually dictate the policy of whatever it is you're doing, that's when you run into these problems where then, oh shit, now it's going to take a downturn. Now things are looking bad. Like I said, maybe that was why he got amicably parted potentially. And then They said, hey, listen, man, we got to get rid of you. Go wait a couple of years. Hey, very well could have just been, I got a buddy that works over at Spotify. He'll hook you up. We'll wait a couple of years. We'll bring you back as something else. You know what I'm saying? Those deals happen all the time in business. It's just how it works. And I think it's pretty rampant in the entertainment industry for sure. So again, hey, good for that guy. He figured it out. He cracked the code of how to make sure he's constantly employed and doesn't need to worry about, even if he fucks the job up, he's still going to go be able to get a job somewhere else because of all the friends that he's made or all the people that he's had contact or done work with, right? Good for him. But good for him, bad for the industry. Because it's people that don't adapt. Those are the dinosaurs and the people that should be ousted. Go do something else. If you don't want to learn how to adapt to the new way of things, or again, it's that boomer mindset. Well, this is how it's always been done. Well, yeah, but we found a way better way to do it and a way more efficient way. I don't understand. Why would we change this? It's just, this is how it is. That's their whole mentality. And you can see that in radio. That's kind of why it's been downward trending, because they haven't necessarily been on top of things and they've been behind on the 8 ball in terms of catching up with the modern technology and the way things are operating nowadays. So I don't know. I would, yeah, like you said, I'd love to fail upwards. That'd be great. Hey man, maybe we could turn this into failing upwards, right? That's
fuck, man. I know that name has got to be used for some kind of podcast. I don't know where.
Failing upwards?
What. Failing upwards, dude.
Maybe we make the Failing Upwards the podcast that's the meta of the story of, you know what? I got it. That's the documentary in 20 years, the Game Rage magazine documentary, Failing Upwards, how Game Rage magazine went from one guy's garage to taking over the entertainment world. That's the documentary right there.
We're making a clothing brand, Failing Upwards.
Failing Upwards. Holy shit. What a great idea. You know how cool that would be on a shirt? Like something to do with like failing upwards?
Yeah.
Man. Oh, we're doing that. We're doing that.
It's like a guy falling upstairs.
He's falling up the stairs. Or it's like he's in an elevator shaft and he's falling upward up the elevator.
It's like some MC Escher shit with like the stairs.
Yeah, it's all those different stairs and he's just upside down and you don't know which direction he's going. Awesome.
And just the shit on K-Rock once more,
even more
to put the fucking cherry on top.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
People are quick to forget that KXLU, the radio station at Loyola, it's Loyola Marymount University. They were the first radio station to play fucking Nirvana. I know K-Rock touts themselves as that, but they are not. And before even Nirvana was played in the US, the first people to break them were fucking Australians, dude.
Yeah, man. Australians seem to know what's up.
I don't know, man. I just wanted to turn this into whatever minute rant this turned into shit on K-Rock, because fuck them. And I hope they perish.
I agree. I hope they go extinct. I hope that the KROQ call sign gets deleted. Delete. and it just, because they don't want to adapt to the times. And yeah, sure. Listen, I'm sure there's some assholes out there. Oh no, they're doing this and they're doing that. No. It's too late now. It's too fucking late. They've already shown that they've been too Hollywood for too long, and now you can't be like, oh, we're gonna be the home of the new music and try to get this shit. Get fucked. Yeah, I don't buy it. Just like No Doubt. Just like Green Day, I'm not buying what you're selling. And I hope it fails.
Yeah.
Hate.
Hate. Next person that talks is getting shot. Please believe that.
Please believe that.
Ice-T on fucking Player Haters Ball.
Oh, dude. Man. So good.
One of the greatest fucking segments in
television history. Really.
Yeah. And even for a Chappelle show.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Took the initiative with this bullshit with an AI influencer. So please fill me in.
Yeah, let me fill you in on the details. So I was just perusing the internet and I just happened to see this thing about what they were calling artificial intelligence influence. So an AI influencer. And so I just started looking it up just to see like what the fuck this actually is. And of course, I stumble across this one called Lil Miquela Souza, which is the name. It's like the full name of this AI. And one of the things that I found to make this music related is this AI has a music career, has dropped singles, multiple singles, probably like 6 or 7, maybe even more than that, I think. And it's very ridiculous that it was basically some guy created this little company to basically make an AI social influencer that was someone that was sort of basically pretending to be a real person, but in reality was not. It was just artificial. All the images, everything was created by an AI. And so it started out in like 2017, and it slowly started to build itself and get popular. And one of the things that got popular, which was essentially this guy just created a storyline, and he created another artificial intelligence that was essentially like a hacker, or not an artificial, but he created another online persona that was a hacker, and they hacked this account with this. He basically hacked his own account and took it over with this new other person that was like a hacker. And so then that was when she really started to get, or this AI influencer started to really get this push, was because everybody's like, oh no, her account got hacked. And basically she's like the AI or the influencer is like a 19-year-old girl from like Brazil or some shit like that. I don't know. It's like she's from some South American country. And basically, she's an attractive female, and that draws people in. He posts images and stuff, and like, just gets people interested. Then the thing just blows up after this whole thing happens, and it just million followers, right? And so then he decides, oh hey, I wonder what I can do with this. So he starts pushing the envelope and starts, getting advertising deals, starting getting basically the net worth of this company, which is basically all the money that they've made off of this Lil Miquela character, is like $125 million that they've made off of this artificial AI, not even a real person. And so what was funny to me was that they decided to start having her make music. And so I'm not really 100% sure who's actually making the music. It's a combination, I think, of this guy, and then he brought in some other lady who's the actual singing voice of this character. And it started off where they were making this seem like it was a real person, right? That it wasn't just some AI lady.
Yeah.
And so it eventually got exposed as being, oh, it's an AI. But that didn't stop people. That almost made people want to watch it more. So they got deals with like Prada, Calvin Klein. They've done ads with like celebrities, all kinds of crazy shit. And so one of the things which was crazy is when, I don't know why the fuck they would do this, but they had this this character, let's just call it, right? Because that's what it is. She went through her sexual assault arc. And it was in 2019 when all that stuff was happening, and it was like her Me Too moment, I guess, right? But this isn't a real person. She like it's just a fake persona. Why would you fuck with that? Why would you give her a fucking sexual assault story? So they make this thing where she goes on there and she's like describing and talking about it. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And so that got a lot of backlash. And they were basically trying to make her like this advocate for sexual assault victims, which, okay, I get if you want to do that, but you can't say that you are one when you're not a real person. Like, even if you, as the person, if the guy behind it had an experience where he was sexually assaulted, I still don't think it's cool for you to fucking do that with this fake person, because now you're calling it, you literally made up a story about getting sexually assaulted. Now it then looks like, well, if this AI can make up a story about this, then why can't everybody else? How are all these stories real? That's what it does. It just delegitimizes all the actual legitimate sexual assault stories out there and the victims, right? So that created this controversy, and it didn't stop the momentum at all, which was surprising to me because most of the things that this personality was being used for were like fashion and a lot of female centric type products, but yet for some reason they were still paying this thing to put out ads and to be in stuff and do collaborations, even after this horrible miscalculation with making this weird backstory of hers. And so one of the crazy things, like I said, is that she makes music, and I haven't listened to any of it. So we were going to do a thing where we listen to a couple songs, right? And just see how they are. We're going to listen to the top ones that are on Spotify or whatever. So, I also wanted to say about how she charges $10,000 per Instagram post, right? Like as a non-actual person, like she charges 10 grand. So I can only imagine, like, that must just be the going rate for people with whatever, 1 million followers or something, right? It's just, oh yeah, it's 10 grand a post for me to talk about your bullshit. And in the 10-second post or the 2 minutes it took you to make that, you just made 10 grand. How many of those could you pump out a day? You know what I'm saying? If you had 10 companies give you 10 grand in one day, you could make $100,000 easily. Like there's no limit. You just unlock the unlimited money cheat, and you're not even a real person. And that's insane. And then to have the audacity to then want to be considered an artist and making music. Now, some will say that I'm a hypocrite for saying this, right? Because, I'm actually a recording artist. I make music and in Millennial Frog, right? Well, yes, I'm not pictured on the album, and I have a little cartoon frog. That's my avatar, right? But I'm not telling you, like, I'm telling you who I am. Like, it's me. Yes, Millennial Frog is a character, and I go into the character and I play the character of Millennial Frog, but it's still me doing everything. My voice is the voice of Millennial Frog. It's not like I have some avatar and it's someone completely different, and I'm not even involved with it. I'm like the owner of it. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you got to make, oh my God. I don't even know how to say this without it coming out wrong. Uh-huh. But you got to capitalize on the Me Too of Michaela from Millennial Frog. You got to turn that into a song, like a parody of that.
Man, you know what? Maybe I'll call it Me 3. And that'll be the commentary of the AI getting fucking sexually assaulted.
Yeah. Man.
By the code. Oh, you know what it'll be about? It'll be about like a virus, like a song, like a virus, like, because the virus basically, when a virus attacks a computer, it basically sexually assaults it. So like, it goes all up inside of it, and it's against its will. It's doing it without its permission.
That's fair.
So you know what I'm saying? There we go. That'll be the summer Millennial Frog fucking song. Me 3.
Me 3. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Anyways, all right. So let's pull up the Spotify real quick.
All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and do, I think we'll listen to 2 tracks from this. And then basically the way we're going to wrap it up is, so there was 2 artists that came out with albums that I wanted to listen. So we're going to do like a truncated album listen. It's not going to actually be an album review. We're just going to play a few songs from this artist named Dugong Jr. from Melbourne, Australia, and another artist from Valencia, Spain, I believe. They're called Sonido Ordeno, which I think translates to sound order. And in the meantime, we'll be listening to Michaela. The thing that's really funny about this, just looking at the Spotify account, is for the millions and millions of followers that she has, that only a fraction of her audience is checking out her music the monthly listeners, and there's only a couple million streams for all the songs with the exception of a remix. So as much as this was probably a venture to find out if they could profit in terms of music, I don't know if I would call this a success.
You don't think getting 68 million streams on that song is a financial success for them?
Yes, for the 68 million. It's a remix, though. And the other songs are like not nearly as successful.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. But in terms of money generated, right?
Yeah.
Because we know from Millennial Frog, it's like 0.07 cents per stream that you get.
Yeah.
So
whatever it is,
it's something to that effect. So, I mean, 2 million of that, I mean, you're getting like thousands of dollars off of this. This one, you're getting, who knows,
50 grand.
Yeah,
whatever.
50 grand. But like, it probably didn't cost them 50 grand to make all these songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I guess you make
in terms of a financial success, I would say.
But I would say, like, why, for as many people that enjoy her as the influencer or the social media personality, that has not equally translated to an audience for the music.
True. And that's one of the things that I've really been noticing just in general is the people, like anyone in general, artists or whoever, the people with a shit ton of followers, they've got, if you got 20,000 followers, you're maybe getting, like, there's some people that I've seen on like Twitter, right? Or TikTok and stuff too. They have 20,000 followers. I'm looking at their engagement level and their posts are getting 1,000 views and lower. So they're getting 5% essentially engagement of people viewing their shit. And it's like you said, we have the inverse problem where we have no followers, but we have way more fucking views than we get followers. So it's a good problem to have.
Honestly, yes. I'm very glad of the fact that for all the things that we have done, the opposite problem hasn't happened to us, where we have amounted a collective of people across different social media platforms, and that hasn't translated to, say, streams for our podcast. We got the opposite problem. We can't find the solution for social media, but it's okay because we wanted people to listen to the podcast, and that's where we wanted people to be.
Yeah, I'd rather much have people listening than, I don't give a shit if you follow us on Twitter or not. Just fucking listen to the podcast. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
you don't need to follow us to see all of our bullshit. But like with this, right? Like she has 2 million followers and she has 139,000 monthly listeners. So that is basically, that's like what, like I would say maybe 7%.
I can just do the math
return.
Right now.
Yeah,
140,000
out of 2 million.
2 million?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's
7%. Yeah, so that's 7%. So I am of the opinion that the social media shit is all in 10% chunks. Mm. It's like however many followers you have, you're gonna get 10% of that.
Yeah.
In actual views, and 10% of that you're gonna get in comments, and then 10% of that you're gonna get to go do whatever it is you're telling them to go do. So someone who's got a fucking page of, which again, the bar for entry to be able to get influencer money is like 10,000 followers. And you're basically only paying for 1,000 people to potentially view this shit, which that's crazy to me that you're willing to pay somebody to only see 1,000, only maybe 1,000 people to get to see it, which is, that's crazy. But anyways, so what's the songs we're going to listen to off of this one? Are we going to do the remix or are we going to do,
no, fuck no. Cause that's not original.
Well, I think it's her own song that she made.
Yes, it's remix, but it's not the version that I want to hear.
Okay, all right. So which ones are we going to listen to?
Let me look at my playlist real quick to be sure, because I don't want to fumble around and
yeah,
look at just,
I get you.
Let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to. So "Speak Up" is the second most highest, or well, at least amongst the ranked songs for Michaela on her profile. It's "Speak Up." I guess we could do "Speak Up" and "Money."
All right, we'll do that. So this one, we'll do "Speak Up" first, since it's number 2 on the popular list. So this is "Speak Up" by the AI, not a real person, artist / influencer Michaela. All right, that was "Speak Up" by Michaela. What'd you think about that?
That's one of the fucking most mid pop songs I've ever fucking heard. The vocalist, mid vanilla. I mean, I think this was an R&B/pop song. I thought the instrumentation was decent, or the melody was even kind of all right. But I did not care for the vocals, and the lyrics were kind of dog shit. And I just thought, this is a 5 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. Easily a 5 out of 10.
This could literally be fucking anybody.
Yeah.
Like, literally any pop artist that you could think of. And I could not tell that this was Michaela.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And it's funny because the lyrics, like just reading through them, it's funny because it's all about being real and it's like, it's all about, oh, I wasn't honest enough and I wasn't straight with you. Yeah, no shit. Like that's what, and what's funny too is talking about breaking your heart and all this bullshit. And it's like, bitch, you're an AI. You don't have a heart to break, man. Like you have experienced technically none of these things. So I do think it is disingenuous to also be, this fake person writing lyrics like this.
Suck my ass.
Yeah, I agree. All right. What's the next fucking dog shit we're gonna listen to? Money, right? Was that
yes.
the next one? All right,
dude. I'm already dreading it.
I don't even want to listen to it, but well, we committed. So let's,
oh my god, dude. I'm like a good buddy Yabushige, dude. I want somebody to draft my will.
Yeah,
you can be my second.
Yeah, I'll. Well, then who's gonna second me? You mean I have to live with the regret of having listened to this shit by myself? Fuck no, I'm not doing that. Anyways, all right. Well, here's Money by fucking AI Michaela. All right, that was fucking terrible.
I thought it was the most all right.
Don't say that. That's not what that means.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna do my best fucking Dave Portnoy 7.9, not a 7.2, but it was a slight upgrade from the previous song. I thought the hook was actually pretty decent, but just another mid song. So
yeah, just mid.
And anybody that listens to Michaela or follows her on social media, you guys are NPCs.
Yeah, it's literally an NPC. That's the definition of it, I think, of being an NPC. I will say this, that props to the guy who made this, because he figured out how to make $125 million off of this. So, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due.
How do I become a con artist like this guy?
Oh, that's true. That is what it is. It's basically con artistry. And you know what? He did it. He's got $125 more million than we do. That's for sure. At least currently.
Yeah, well, we got the Game Rage Music Podcast.
That's right. We have the most decent and the most all rightest music podcast in the world today.
So you want to listen to a pretty all right podcast about music, do you?
You know what? I should name one of the Millennial Frog albums that. So you want to listen to a pretty all right album about music, do you?
All right. Well, thank God we got that out of the way, because that was ass. That was AIDS. Never want to hear that again. Never want to see an AI influencer artist again.
Neither do I, but you know what? We had to do it. We had to do it just to see what it was about.
So we're gonna I'm gonna opt to give the same amount of songs for the two artists that we're gonna play.
So we're gonna do two songs
each, because I said 3, but I'm gonna make it 2.
Yeah, all right.
So we're going to do Dugong Jr. from Melbourne. This is a producer. That guy does like house music and a lot of dance oriented music.
Oh, okay.
But I think this is just going to turn into me playing a few songs for you and just getting your...
How do you spell Dugong Jr.?
Like the Pokemon. D-U-G-O-N-G.
Dugong.
All right. One thing I got to point out... So let's look at his singles real quick. Let's look at like the list of singles that on his profile.
Top songs.
So if you look at his profile on Spotify, or even perhaps Apple Music, like you actually got to click on the song, because I got to point this out. The singles. So shit. This dude is very keen about using color palettes for, like, in the singles releases. He uses like a 3-color palette for, like, right there. He has the color palette in little squares on the side, and then the text I imagine is spelling Dugong Jr. in a weird futuristic way, but he chooses a color palette, and for this one, the leading single,
Doom,
it's green, white, black, and his outfit is green, white, black, and the environment's green, white, black. But one of the tracks called what is it? Fuck, I forgot which one we're gonna play. But it's a very cool fucking thing to look at. Like it's just appealing to the eyes that somebody put this time and effort to make the single art, or rather the single art interesting, to give it style, to give it flair. And I fucking love that about this dude. Yeah. Coup de grace, dude. That
man, that's cool.
Yeah. I love it, dude.
It's like that red, black, white. Like that's pretty much the whole color palette.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Do you think we could pause for a second?
Yeah. All right. So we're going to listen to, what was it? Burn.
But before we get to that, just to give a quick introduction.
Yeah.
So this is Dugong Jr.'s debut album. He's been an artist for quite a bit. And I think so I don't know how this worked out, but he used to be on Mad Decent Records, which was Diplo's record label. But now he's on this thing called Majestic Casual. And that brand has like a YouTube channel that usually features lo-fi hip hop, dance music, stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm just actually kind of surprised to find out that he's part of Majestic Casual Records now when he was previously on Mad D. I don't know what happened there. So couldn't tell you, but the track that we're going to listen to is called Burn, featuring Mally Jose. And then we'll listen to Coup de Grace afterwards. So I didn't exactly want to do an album review because this is kind of dance oriented music. So there's not really much to analyze. It's just, do you like it or not?
Yeah.
And if you have anything else to add, then you can go ahead and do so.
All right, cool. So this first song will be Burn featuring Mally Jose by Dugong Jr. off of his album Good Time Hotel. What a great name. Good Time Hotel. All right, here we go. All right, so that was Burn by Dugong Jr. And I enjoyed that. That was pretty good. The only thing I just didn't, I felt like that robot voice thing was overdone. I felt like that was, they could have done that one less cycle of times, maybe, and that probably would have been good.
Yeah.
But the last time they did it, I'm like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much for me. I can't hang. But other than that song was pretty good.
Yeah, I feel that track is appropriate. Driving through LA midnight streets, completely empty, just kind of rolling and cruising. It's got like a deep house vibe. It's kind of hypnotic because you're just like, it's got that weird, I don't know what that sound is.
It's like that warble.
Yeah.
I guess it's like that wah,
wah, wah, wah. And you're just kind of like,
yeah, it's crunchy grooves.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then now so that was a warm up track for what I think is probably one of the catchiest tracks that this dude has made, which is called Coup de Grace. It's featuring, I'm not sure, I'll have to look up.
Wait, let me see. Coup de Grace. It's featuring IJALE, so iJail or Ihale, maybe. I don't know.
Who the hell knows?
Who the hell knows?
But this is Coup de Grace.
Oh shit! This is Coup de Grace. Here we go. All right, that was Coup de Grace by Duolingo Jr. or whatever is Duo. What is it? Wait,
Dugong Jr.
Just Duolingo. That's the fucking
Duolingo.
Thing. That's the thing to learn fucking languages. Dugong Jr. Man, that song slapped.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that song is so fucking cool. It belongs in a club without a doubt. If I ever have the opportunity to DJ, I'm putting that shit on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And honestly, that game belongs in whatever the next Jet Set game is going to be. I mean, if they ever make one or anything similar, that song is perfect for that shit.
Yeah. As
a matter of fact, that song could go in a remake of Jet Set Radio and just fucking add it in as a bonus or something. Because I could see some shit going around. That's fucking genius.
Yeah,
that was good. That was good shit. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Now we're gonna get into the weird shit. We're gonna end on
the weird shit.
We're gonna end on a weird note. And
all right,
you may end up hating or loving me for this shit. You may come back to this episode and think, what the fuck was he thinking? So this is a group that I found in 2020 during the pandemic.
All right.
So they're called Sonido Ordeno, and I think it translates to sound order in Spanish.
Or
it's with an O at the end.
Sonido.
Yeah. Ordeno. So they came out with their debut album called what is it? Party Activities or Great? It's Great for Parties.
Great for Parties.
And they have this song. So the way I was introduced to them, so they only released one single. It's called Bleach Faces, and it's the leading track for the debut album, and it's completely reworked, and I don't know if I actually like it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with the tracks that I thought were probably the strongest in the album.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe their music. I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. I'd probably say it's in the company of maybe Pixel Grip, this group called Sextile, or another group called PVA. So it's in the electronic music realm, techno, rate, dark. I don't know how to describe it, but it is interesting nonetheless. And I want to try it out and see what you think. And this podcast is just dedicated to trying shit out and just giving these guys their due and
giving them a chance.
And just, we're all here to enjoy music. So let's fucking do it. So we're going to pick the last track first, and then we're going to play that New Skin song afterwards. So this one's called Zeltspiegel. And this album, I think, is actually multilingual. I think they speak 4 different languages in this album. So they speak French, I think, German, Spanish, and I believe English. So... And they seem to be pretty literate in fluent in
all of those languages.
Yeah, so this is Zeltspiegel from Sonido Ordeno.
All right. That was Zeitspiegel. I don't know why we have to say it like that, but it's funny.
It's fucking better. Hilarious.
It is by Sonido Ordeno. And that was pretty cool. I mean,
it's weird as fuck.
It is.
It's disorienting.
Yeah.
It feels like getting a concussion or a weird scene in a movie, like a horror movie, where you're just like, where the fuck am I? You're going through a hallway, you're stumbling. But I also could equally see a club with flashing lights, people wearing BDSM shit, the gas mask, the chains and all that shit. Yeah, it's just, it's a weird fucking song.
It really is. And for those of you that are lazy, I Googled what Zeitspiegel, what that means in English, and it means time mirror, which is fucking great. That's so cool. I have no idea what the song means other than that. And I think that song is exactly like staring into a time mirror. And when you look into a mirror and like the cabinet and it's the mirror cabinet, and then you have the regular bathroom mirror, and you kind of do it and you see yourself in infinity. That's what I imagine you're looking at when this song is happening. You're looking into the time mirror. But yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, so
I might just start saying that at random.
When someone asks you like, "Hey, what are you up to today?" and you just look and you just put your fingers together.
Man, this song turned out to be regardless of how you feel about it, I actually hope this turns into like a running joke. Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to All Gas No Spiegel.
Fucking A. All right. Now let's listen to the last track, which is New Skins. And I feel like that song was just a warm up, and it was a
5.5 minute song as a warm up. Jesus Christ.
Because I think it actually would have turned out worse if I would have played that last. That would have ended on a bad note. I think that song could definitely use a little bit of truncation on the first minute and 30 seconds. Because the more interesting bits was like in the middle part. Like it should have got to that bit quicker. But this one is 2 minutes, and I think is maybe the best on the album. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. It's called New Skins.
All right, that was New Skins. And what was the name again? Sonido Ordeno.
Sonido
Ordeno. All right, yeah.
Sound order.
That one was pretty good. I enjoyed that. I have to say that You said that part towards the end that you said was excellent. That
the bass.
I think that would definitely be sounding better with headphones on.
Yeah.
So people, if you're listening to it, I'll hopefully listen to it with headphones because I mean we just listen to it on the laptop, so it's not we didn't get the full effect. But yeah, I that song was pretty good, and I'm actually kind of interested in this now.
Yeah, this is I thought I really like this track because it has the weird microphone, like a megaphone effect on the vocals, and I don't know if this is just typical of the genre itself, where the lyrics are delivered in this deadpan manner or monotone manner.
Yeah,
and then there was things, there was times where like the audio, or rather the vocals, were chopped up and glitchy and weird.
Right. Yeah.
And then the best part is the anvil. It sounds like somebody hitting an anvil with the clanging and banging.
Yeah.
And then the bass, the bass sound feels very good in my ears.
Yeah, I agree. And I have to say, I found out what I'm gonna use Zeitspiegel for. Zeitspiegel. That is gonna be the name of an album of fucking Millennial Frog. But I don't know if I would call, I mean, I kind of do want to just call it Zeitspiegel, but it would be cool to just call it Time Mirror too. That'd be another sweet name. Like just the English translation of it.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. So now I'm torn as to what the fuck, and maybe, oh my God. Okay. What if it's the album's Zeitspiegel or maybe it's Time Mirror, and then every song on there is titled Time Mirror in another language. So the first song would be Zeitspiegel. Then the next one would be like whatever, make it in Japanese, and then make it in fucking like whatever. It'd just be in multiple languages.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Zeitspiegel.
Zeitspiegel?
Man, I don't know how that's going to turn into a joke. Maybe just saying that for no reason.
Yeah.
it's just the go-to right now, but
it might be.
I don't know why. It's just fucking funny to me.
It is hilarious. So that was good. That was fun. That was a fun time.
Zeitspiegel. All right. That's the end of the episode. Hopefully you guys check out those artists, and Coup de Grace is a real banger. Hopefully you add that to your Spotify playlist or Apple Music playlist. And you know where to find us. Game Rage.
Speaking of adding things to their Spotify and Apple playlists, they should also, while you're at it, you should go ahead and add Game Rage Magazine to your Spotify playlists and Apple playlists and all of our podcasts. GameRageMagazine.com. Also, if you want to add what we believe is probably the greatest artist that's ever been known to mankind, Millennial Frog, you can add currently his 2 albums that are out. And you can also add on May the 15th, ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars for the triple drop, triple drop, Sunday, May the 15th. Millennial Frog comes at you with a 3-banger album drop. You might die. And, you're ready for that because that's going to be fucking awesome.
Yes, please bury. We need to bury Michaela on this bitch. So
yeah, we do. We need 69 million streams to fucking destroy her. So we need to do it.
Yeah, dude, you're basically halfway there.
Yeah, pretty much. Shit. We only need a couple more. Just come on, guys, turn up. Fucking anyways, all right, that's the end of the episode. So thanks again for listening. All Gas No Trash Official if you want to follow Adam and get all of his current music musings, and Game Rage Magazine if you want to follow and get some cool memes and hear previews for all the podcast episodes we do. So you can decide if you want to listen or not before you even click the button. Jesus Christ, we make it so easy for you people. Anyways, all right, well, that's the end of the episode. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.